bring the car around.
Chance, a helicopter landed on it.
I hate when that happens.
Welcome. My name is Dan, and I'm starting a new project. I'm bringing you along for the ride, where we go through films and TV and look and discuss the automobile marvel and how it has helped create some of the best moments in movies and shows, or influence others that we all love. In the beginning, I'm going to go through the vast field of the car movies and also throw some in the mix that people maybe not consider car movies. We will do the basics, identify the main cars, go over the scenes, and try to put into a sentence, even if it's a runaway one, that tries to explain how these films just don't use cars as props, or worse, add space, and how the best ones almost treat them as characters themselves. With our first film, I'm going to take you back decades ago, when I was a small boy going over to the neighborhood kid's house and putting this movie into the VCR and fast forwarding it to its first chase scene, and ever since then I was a fan of the cult classic, The Last Action Hero. And this being a satire of the action genre, they really know how to use the cars and trucks in the film to build the world, and not to forget the fact that it being filmed in the 90s, we get a lot of fun background candy to watch and say, hey, my mom drove one of those. Not that I think anyone's mom had a 91 Prevea with a middle row Gatling gun conversion in it, but hey, sometimes that drop-off line can get tense. My favorite one though is a 53 Ford F100. That is the aggressor in the faithful car chase that I witnessed as a young child. Now researching for the film, I found out that it had a hopped up 5.7 liter engine conversion with a near 400 horsepower and an old school build done to it. I don't know if it was done for the film or not. I do know that it was up for sale in 2021 for lots of dollars. So it's nice to see that it has survived the 30 years post of this film. The truck is crazy fun, power sliding around the corners with 4 bad guys wielding Acme TNT and Uzis, shooting at our hero for a better part of 8 minutes. Ending in the first of 3 games of chicken, which turn out to be the pinch my cheek test for the film. But before we go over that, let's see the contestants in our game of chicken. The bad guys in their Ford truck, or our hero of the film in his 60s Pontiac Bonneville convertible. I'd say the exact year, but it seems they used multiple ones during the filming of different years. But that's not important, let's get back to the rules and the importance of the game. First, the rules of chicken. Simply, 2 people drive towards each other at increasing speeds, and the first one to swerve is forever known as a chicken. Now, how does one do that in an alleyway barely 2 car widths wide? Gets me, but that doesn't really matter because
It's a movie set.
Now for the pinch my cheek test. Ever hear the quote, pinch my cheek, I'm dreaming? Same concept, but let's add 2 vehicles weighing around 4,500 pounds traveling at each other at alarming speed. Got it? Good. Now this movie does a magical thing with the great Houdini's old ticket stub, where you can enter a movie world from the real world. And in this movie world, where when our hero Slater plays chicken with the bad guys, he always wins. It doesn't matter if the opposite opponent has more firepower than some small nations, he's the hero. Our main character, not being of this world, has it cemented after this game of chicken that the magical ticket worked since the bad guy's Ford truck exploding and being sent into a building, which I can say also has some of the flashiest dressed women I've ever seen.
Holy cow!
The chase also has some fun comedy in it. Driving with the no hands bit,
We practice a lot and never ever do it in heavy traffic.
or the ice cream cone fatality.
I is that guy.
Now, while you can try to point out this cheesy CGI moments, the minivan explosion, the Pontiac fishtail in the air to land on a Coca-Cola truck, or even the Ford truck airborne in the end. But as the movie ages and we get more CGI cheesy moments in car films, today, I think it just adds to the meta joke. The practical driving in the chase scene is evident though, and they really drive these cars and tried most of the stunts using the vehicles. For example, the Previa jumping into the LA drainage disc is just fun. Now the second game of chicken just reaffirms that the kid's in the movie and not in the real world. That's why his bike doesn't beat an armored 60s Lincoln Continental and ends up doing an ET flying gag and landing in trash. These 2 rounds of chicken are important to establish the movie world and has different rules than the real world, but we get our last and final game of chicken in the movie. To set the stage, the main character enters the real world, re-enters the real world, with the hero Slater from the movie world, while in pursuit of our main villain of the movie and has just driven into a dead-end alley, where our heroes are blocking the only exit in an '89 Mercury Sable. Our hero tells the main character to get out of while the main character is trying to explain this is the real world and it's not just the movies. It won't work, screaming as the hero Slater speeds off towards the checker cab that is equally closing distance. The main character can only watch in horror as him and us, the audience, know that this can't end world. This is the real world. The blaring of the horns and the yells of our main character as he runs towards the accident, expecting the worst, only to have our fictional character stumble out and explain,
Hey, 89 Mercury Sable. Standard driver side airbag. Checker cab, no airbag. Who is that?
This line in the movie here is just genius. The scene only has more meta breaking for the fourth wall, but not breaking the wall of logic than most movies even try these days. And it's the fact that they're able to use a car game as a running working formula in the movie that helps define the two different worlds and set up one of the more drama tense moments between our hero and the main character in the film is the main reason it's a great car film and just a great scene. Oh, and I didn't forget about one of the hottest blazers I've ever seen on film. It's just sad that it has only 3 short moments in the film. Sitting in a driveway, crashing through fences and running over lawns, and smashing into a mansion. The last 2 are really cool though. But what makes this a great car film is that the film is doing a satire take on action genre. They really had fun using the cars in the films to help make that statement. Also using practical driving and real car mechanics, not the job, the theory, is also why. Because as we start to go through more and more of these films, a lot of car chases just don't make sense and seem to rely on cars having magical amounts of power to make the chase fun, which I think as car people we tend to turn our nose up at a little. To bring up the chase scene between the Pontiac and the truck one more time, these 2 vehicles are equally matched, chasing each other around a fictional LA, and it only takes some fancy driving by Slater, which may or may not be CGI, to evade the truck at a point of the chase. I guess to put into a final sentence, the last action hero values what a car can bring to the film. That's trying to get the audience to really figure out what's real and what's not real in a movie. Doesn't make sense? Most of the movie doesn't either. So, if you're a gearhead like me, put The Last Action Hero on your list of car films to go see or watch again. Thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to keep the rubber side down.